My name is Rafael, you're watching Rock and Roll Garage, and today we're going to talk about how Black Sabbath chose the name for their band. But first, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave your comment. Well, Black Sabbath was formed in Birmingham, England back in 1968 by Ozzy Osbourne, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward. But first, they had two other names. The first one was the Polka Tulk Blues Band, which was quite weird, but they originally were a pure blues band, playing blues covers and etc. But they later on decided to change the name to Earth. However, there was already another band called Earth, and that was getting them into trouble. They were being mistaken for that band, and people would show up at the gigs, hoping that it was the other Earth, and they played a quite different kind of music. So they decided to change the name again, and it happens that they were rehearsing. The place they were rehearsing was across the street from the rehearsal room. There was a movie theater, and that movie theater was showing the 1963 horror movie Black Sabbath, which was directed by the famous Italian filmmaker Mario Bava, and it had the legendary British actor Boris Karloff, who 3 decades before that was the star of the Universal monster movies. He was the Mummy on that first Mummy movie, and he was Frankenstein's monster on the 1931 movie Frankenstein, the first one. And obviously he did a lot of other adaptations later on. He was part of the incredible movie The Black Cat with Bela Lugosi, which was from 1934, if I'm not mistaken, and many others. Obviously, he became one of the most famous horror actors of all time. But there was this movie, and they noticed that, well, why people like to pay to watch horror movies and to be scared? Well, that not only gave them the idea for the name, but also showed them that, well, if people pay money to be scared and watch horror movies and see all those things, why they wouldn't be interested in hearing scary music? So they shortly after composed the band's title track from the album of the same name that would appear, the track Black Sabbath, that would appear on their debut album Black Sabbath, which has that incredible riff, that scary opening, those opening thunders and etc. I mean, that riff was beyond scary for people around that time, and it scared the shit out of parents and people, and obviously it set the mood for what they would become and created heavy metal music. So it actually came from the movie title. It wasn't a quite elaborate idea, let's say, because obviously if you look at the name, Sabbath comes from Shabbat, which is the day of rest for Judaism and some other religions. And obviously it's let's say a sacred day, and it's a holy thing, and etc. So if you put the word black, it gives you that idea that it is there's an inversion in terms of that. If there is Sabbath and there is Black Sabbath, it might tell people, well, maybe that thing's satanic, because of using the other word to, if there's light and there is darkness, and when you put those things together, it might give the audience the slightest idea that, well, maybe they're, obviously for the kind of music they were doing, well, maybe they're satanic or something like that. And the interesting thing is that Tony Iommi told Mick Wall once, and this is on Black Sabbath's official website, he said, "That's when it all started to happen. The name sounded mysterious, it gave people something to think about, and it gave us a direction to follow." So, you know, obviously, I don't. If they had made the same kind of music, obviously they would become famous and etc. But imagine, you know, Black Sabbath being called Earth or being called Polka Tulk Blues Band. I mean, that wouldn't have been as cool as calling Black Sabbath, being called Black Sabbath. So that's the story. I hope you like it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment. Tell me if you knew the story or not. If you had a chance to watch Black Sabbath during the past decades, and let's talk about it. And obviously, don't forget to visit rockandrollgarage.com. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.